Sean Salisbury is with us, as he will be Tuesdays during football season. Excited to have this segment back each week during the football season. And the NFL season is going to kick off on Thursday. And, Sean, I was looking at updated preseason MVP odds. Joe Burrow is the biggest riser. He actually has already surpassed Josh Allen. So Lamar Jackson the favorite, as he should be. And Joe Burrow now the second betting favorite to win the MVP. What kind of season are you expecting from Burrow in Cincinnati this year?
Let me turn that. There you go. Now you don't have me. I don't have myself muted. Don't want dogs barking during the segment. Matty, I expect him to play great. I don't ever go in questioning. Now for Joe to win the MVP, he's such a finisher. Is a quick start in September. He reminds me of another LSU guy when he was here in Houston, although in Boston changed, Alex Bregman.
Mm-hmm.
Slow start, ends up putting up good numbers as the season rolls along and is always in that, in that talk. And I think if Joe comes out fast, I had to start a franchise for the next 5 years. I'm not sure he wouldn't be the guy I'd go with. Okay. I love his presence. I've told you the manipulation in the pocket. He is so good at managing that. They're going to score. They'll score from the damn parking lot. The question is, can they get stops on defense? But the other side of that is he's going to put up gaudy numbers always. Receivers, they'll run it well enough, and the ball comes out, and he's got such a great feel for coverage and pre-snap. I'm not worried about him. He should be an MVP candidate. The key is where they're going to go as a team in a very difficult division, an upgraded Pittsburgh Steeler offense, you would think. Cleveland's defense, who knows what's going to happen with their offense. But I expect Burrow, when the MVP's called, his name, Allen, the same dudes are going to be hanging around, and there may be Jaden Daniels may be one as well. But anytime you put Burrow up there, I don't think any of us should be shocked. He'll put up numbers, but the key for them is being able to get off the field so they don't have to score 40 every week. If they do, it'll look gaudy, but the numbers in the win-loss column won't be where they want. He's got to have a fast start. I fully expect him to have a monster year, and it won't be the last time that he'll be there. And I don't think one MVP will be enough for him. I think he's that good.
Foreshadowing there with Jaden. So the odds right now going into the season, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jaden Daniels. Is he
special?
Is he worthy of that right now, Sean? Or is it reasonable to expect a sophomore slump?
I know they happen. Teams will play him different, but when you got his feet and his arm and his ability, that his just football IQ, I think there's some guys, I don't want to say immune to it, Matty, that are better at dealing with it. Stroud backed off a little bit last year from his rookie year, but the key, they couldn't block anybody. So the sophomore slump wasn't necessarily Stroud. The sophomore slump was all pre-snap penalties, 1st and 15, 2nd and 17. The offensive line was a detriment to Stroud. So it stepped back, but you still saw what he had, which in the collateral damages, then you start to do stuff that's not characteristic of your game, which Stroud did at times last year. I expect him to come back. I don't think that's the case. They upgraded their offensive line in Washington as long as Tunsil can stay in his stance and not put them in a 1st and 15 or 2nd and 20 position with penalties. But I think Jaden Daniels is different, and I think that's obvious. And I don't think that rookie year is by accident. He's gotten better since he showed up to LSU every year. He got better even last year, and he'll get better this year. So they'll play him different, but the great equalizer is those feet, Matty. He has got such special feet that you can utilize. And remember this, the reason the MVP odds, they're better. People have high expectations of him, and his offensive coordinator knows how to move the ball around. I don't expect a sophomore slump. Now, I don't know how gaudy the numbers will be, but we do this in the gambling world where a guy has it and we, boom, catapult him to a top 5. It's unfair to him, but I think he relishes the opportunity and the chance. I don't think the MVP is far away from him either, and I do not think that those odds that continue to move in his favor, what's he said, top 6 or 7, I think that's fair, because I think you also we parlay the numbers out and say, okay, what's it going to look like another year with Cliff, another year? While they understand more about Jaden Daniels' defenses, he also understands more about the defenses he's going to face and how to attack them. So until somebody proves to me that this kid doesn't take another step every year, I'm riding with that. I would have had him if I was a betting man, and I am. I would take him in my top 5 or 6 as MVP candidate because they're going to put up numbers and they're better. The question is, can their offensive production at the perimeter help Terry McLaurin out and the rest of it? I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to take a step back this year. I think a step forward.
Sean Salisbury on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered, if you'll follow him there. Of course, Sports Talk 790 in Houston. And Unpaved on YouTube. If you're not subscribed, make sure you get there. It was my pleasure to join Sean last week. Make sure you subscribe there to get that content as well. Look, you and I last year at this time, we were talking about what we expect from Derek Carr. He's retired, and so the Saints have turned the page to an era that, Sean, I don't think realistically many people are expecting much this year, but they're going to go Rattler over the rookie Tyler Shuck. I guess we'll start with, what do you think of the decision to go with Rattler over Shuck here week 1?
I'm okay with the decision, Matty. I am, because I thought Shook had, again, I've told you, his football IQ, and he played a lot of college football. I think he's going to be a good player. I do. But Rattler had been there. It's another year now. The great equalizers are both in a system with somebody new, a new head coach, new play caller, all that stuff, and a guy who gets it offensively. I expect him to play better this year. And Kellen Moore, but they're not a good team. They're just not. Yeah. Now, at least going in. I get why people think they're the worst team in the conference. The quarterback position's not stable enough yet, although the name of Rattler and some of the flashes of brilliance, Shook gives him a chance. I don't know how long the leash is going to be. I have zero issue with this happening. If Rattler holds it down, he fought off a good player. If he doesn't, then, that extra boost of energy. They got the 2 right guys for them, and I think they got the order right to start. But the leash is not going to be, we give you 12 or 15 games. If they're not going well, Shook is a good guy to be able to rely on, even though he's a rookie. I liked the pick, and I think he'll be a good player. But the question is, and I think they've upgraded the offensive and defensive fronts. I do. I think they'll be better there. And they've got, as a young quarterback still in the NFL, and both are young. They played a lot of college football. This is different. Pre-snap read, the way people move, the disguising. And they're going to have more trust in their offensive line because I do think they upgraded. But all around, we know what Kamara can do. They've got names with the lobby and people on the perimeter, but you got to be able to protect it, which I think they will. So offensively, I think you're going to see some more stuff. And Kellen Moore is a brilliant play caller. He just is. But the other stuff, do they upgrade the defensive front enough? Can they quit giving up big plays on the back end, which has been a problem? So there's some things that New Orleans has got to get cleaned up, and I understand why the excitement may be more LSU than New Orleans, and rightfully so. But it's a building year and a chance to see some players they need to see. And for veterans to elevate, they're going to have a few out-of-body experiences to get where they want to go. But if they were in a division that you said, put me in a division, at least gives me a chance because there's no clear-cut dominant team, the NFC South is the one to be in if that's the case. But they got the quarterback thing right for now. Okay. I don't have a problem with it. 6 and 1, half dozen the other, and the veteran gets the nod and the little trust, and he should. The question is, can he stave it off? And you know how it goes. If they're not winning, even if Rattler's playing fairly well, it always falls back to that guy and the head coach. So Tyler Shook will get some work this year. The question is how much, how often, and to what extent, and how soon. But I'm pulling for Rattler. He's been at the top of the mountaintop, and he went to high school, and when he first got to college, and then the humble pie hit. Now he's got a chance to rebuild his career, and here he is with an offensive coordinator who gets it. And I'm sure Jalen Hurts sings big praises for a guy like Kellen Moore. We've seen him in 2, with the Cowboys and the Eagles. And now he's got a task on his hand to get this offense to elevation. I think it's going to be a fairly long season for the Saints. Yeah. I hope I'm wrong.
I don't think anyone here realistically is expecting anything. I've said over and over, it's lay the foundation for the future with this young talent. I am curious, Sean, because Tyler Shuck's 25. Look, they're a 6.5-point dog at home to Arizona this week. Mm-hmm. Which is stunning. Like, you don't see touchdown spreads in the NFL. It happened 9 times last year. The Saints are a touchdown home dog to Arizona. This isn't Brady in 07. It's Kyler Murray in Arizona coming into your building, which kind of lays out. But I think they're going to start 0-4, and then they get the Patriots in New Orleans, which feels like a game they could get. If they start 0-4, is 4 games enough of a sample for Rattler to then say, all right, we're going to Tyler Shuck then?
No. It's not, but in this league it is, because you know how it goes, Matty. It just, in a normal old school situation, you play through it and you see. I guess the optics of how they got to 0-4. Does that make sense? Will kind of determine if that leash becomes 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Is he a big reason they're not winning? Because if he plays well and they can't stop anybody, or he's playing well but he's getting knocked around because there's 2 injuries on the offensive line, which feels like they've upgraded, whatever or if they're the rash of a rash of injuries, or where you get the Kamara who's not healthy and something happens, he misses 3 games. But if Rattler's the reason that they're not elevating, if he's holding them back with turnovers and poor decisions, bad clock management, then they'll make the decision. It may not take a month. So that's going to be incumbent upon him. If he's playing well and you're looking at saying, listen, it's not time, even though Tyler Shook's 25, and I really don't care about the age, Matt. It just means you're not going to get him as long for 15 years. You're trying to get what you can out of him and see. But I don't have a problem with the age. I mean, he's a veteran rookie is what he is because he's played a lot of football in college. But, yeah, that leash will be dependent on how is Spencer Rattler grasping what Kellen Moore's trying to do. If he's the reason, the leash, they will go and make the move and probably won't look back this year. If he's not the reason, just part of it, it's the other stuff, accumulation of it, he'll probably get a longer leash. But I don't think anybody other than maybe them in-house going in with some confidence, trying to be better, as you said, locally, but nationally also. There's not a whole lot of people that have hope. So I don't know, 4 wins, 6 wins, but I haven't seen a road dog, especially with a team that I still don't know who the Arizona Cardinals are.
Right.
And I don't think any of us do. Talk about a Dow Joneser, up and down. 1 minute Kyler plays and you're like, this guy's spectacular. Then for 2 straight games, you're like, who the hell is this guy? So it's weird and it's odd because those spreads just don't happen in the NFL. That being said, I think a lot of people question if the Saints can sustain winning this year, and rightfully so. But it is a chance for Kellen Moore to find out something about the guys he wants to move forward with and the guys you're going to have to leave behind. And the quarterback position going in is something you're still in search of, and they haven't found it just yet.
Do you have a Super Bowl pick?
I'm leaning Buffalo and Philly. I think that the Baltimore, it's time for that team and Lamar Jackson to prove he's not just a September to December guy, that he's a January guy. I think some sneaky teams in it. I think the Chargers are going to give the Chiefs a little bit of run out in the West. I think the Chiefs are still the class of it. And I think there's a couple teams in the NFC that can challenge. I'm anxious to see what Green Bay does. I don't think the Cowboys are a big threat. I think the Rams, and I don't know who the 49ers are this year. Every year we're high on them.
Yeah,
they're perimeter people. So I'm going with Philly to get back again. And I'm going to take Buffalo beating Baltimore in like the AFC Championship game. But it's both Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have got to get to a point where they can validate their regular seasons with phenomenal performances in January. I'll take those 2 teams, Buffalo, and maybe it's emotional because of Buffalo and I'm ready for it. But I think Philly's still the class of the NFC until somebody proves me otherwise.
Chiefs have made 3 straight Super Bowls. Sean predicting that streak to snap this year. We're looking forward to talking about it all throughout the year. Hey, man, we always appreciate the time. He's on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Give him a follow. Sports Talk 790 there in Houston. If you have not subscribed yet, at Unpaved on Rumble. If you go to YouTube, at Unpaved on Rumble on YouTube, subscribe to Unpaved. Sean, we appreciate you as always, man. Look forward to next week.
Matty, thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you.
It's our pleasure. Sean Salisbury, good enough to hang out and give us some of his time each week. Just great insight. We're thrilled to have him back this year. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.